for a absolute classic banger, you better believe it. JP and the Beans top 5. Are you ready?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
I say we really flesh out these ideas.
Totally agree. So the concept for this top 5 are what would we like to see if we could have our druthers. And this can be DC, this can be Marvel, but since we are in this era of saturation with the movies to the point where we're getting TV shows, what characters would we love to see in a TV show format? Because I don't think either of us, for example, are going, hey, the TV shows need to be done on the Marvel side because we don't like the idea of a TV show. It's just they haven't been good. They haven't been given the attention and time needed to really flourish. So they could flourish. We think the potential is there. So if that attention to detail was given, if that time and energy was permitted and these shows could slow cook, not be rushed, but actually come to full fruition, there could be some absolute bangers. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Riles, what's your number 5?
At number 5, because I feel like it would be fun for like a mystical adventure of sorts. And we're taking it back to like ancient times in a sense. I'm going with Etrigan the Demon.
Wow.
And then having Jason Blood and Etrigan have to solve some mystery. Or, have Merlin involved, because Merlin is a good guy in DC, right? Or a bad guy?
I think he's a wild card of sorts. Yeah, but Etrigan gets his origin in Arthurian legend.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right.
So I was
Merlin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would like that, ancient-esque castles,
Right.
and then
It's great.
keep it there, and then watch them transition into modern day. So.
Oh, I love that. That's a good pull. Yeah, good pull. Old Etrigan the Demon. That's great. I had gone back and forth on my number 5 pick. I have 4 that I feel really, really strongly about, and my 5th, I'm struggling between 2 choices. So, game time decision here. What I would like to see most would be a new Genesis TV show. All right, so this is your Darkseid, your Highfather, your Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, Granny Goodness, all of the good and the evil in the giant space universes, thousands of universes away. I would love to see that large, just huge scale, but in a TV show setting where, regardless of what's happening back on Earth, you've got all the drama, all the conflict fostering, and there are some phenomenal characters in that world that I would just love to spend time with. So I think it could be a really self-contained show, but I think I'm especially coming, relatively speaking, fresh off of the Lord of the Rings show, which I thought was really well done. That, in my mind, is what you could get out of a new Genesis TV show.
Okay.
So I think it'd be freaking sweet.
What was your honorable mention?
Honorable mention is going to be a show about Lex Luthor.
Huh?
That's my honorable mention. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into that more. But, alright. My number 4 is a show about the Shazam family.
Okay.
So I've really enjoyed the first 2 Shazam, well, and let's be honest, the only Shazam movies we will ever get. But particularly the unexpected twist where near the end of the first Shazam movie, where they gave Shazam a freaking family, right? Not only do you have Mary, Marvel, and Freddy, but you have the others. I think there's 3 others altogether. Yeah.
I think it's total 7, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it a total 7?
Total 7.
You're right. Total of 7.
Because of each letter.
No.
Is it
7? It was 6. Yeah. It's 6 altogether.
Is 6?
Shazam. 6.
I can't.
I
can't spell.
Freaking Zam. No one's holding it against you. I love that dynamic, and I would love to see more of their adventures, more of their dynamic together. And I think in a TV show, it would be really enjoyable because you also have that opportunity to blend. Hey, their time as their metahuman selves and their time as the average human that we can all relate to. So I would really be delighted by that. I'd love to see more of all of those characters, and to explore more than just our guy Billy. Billy's great, but I'd like to see more than just Billy.
Well, and even then too, you could take one episode and focus on one of them if you really wanted to.
Yep.
So makes
Absolutely.
sense.
And there's a lot of mysticism as far as their typical opposition. So I think there'd be a cool show in there. Here you go, Shazam Family, my number 4.
My number 4 is Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
There you go.
And
Yes.
digging into
Yes.
the rich backstory of that they have. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I want to see that in movie format. It would be kind of cool if each episode was a different life for them. So
Right.
45 minutes
Right.
is just, hey, this is the first iteration of them, and then it's a rebirth, a rebirth, a rebirth, until finally we have the couple that is current.
Right.
So.
I love that.
Man, I just
I
did
love
that
that.
off the top of my head.
Well done.
That was awesome.
High five, self.
But yeah, so I thought, and I loved Hawkman in Black Adam.
Right.
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
So I would love to get more Hawkman for sure. So
No,
and I
that's
grew
great.
up with Hawkgirl too. So
That's
it's
great. Yep, she was in the Justice League cartoon. She was a phenomenal part of the Justice League cartoon.
core part of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she was fantastic. I love that. Great number 4. Great number 4. All right, who do you got number 3?
Number 3, we're really vibing with the whole Arthurian times.
True.
Okay? Now, my boy, Kit Harington, shows up in the Eternals. That dude needs a show. The Black Knight needs a show. Kit's done it before. He knows how the TV show works.
He's good at what he does.
The Black Knight is a super interesting character because the sword corrupts the user at some
Love
point
that.
or another.
Love that.
The more people he's killed, the more bloodlust he gets.
Mhm.
And also him having to deal with the Black Knight mantle because not every Black Knight was a good guy. Some of the Black Knights were not so good guys. And he's probably, I don't know, the 5th user, the 6th, I don't know. It goes all the way back.
He's a ways down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and also to have that be involved, you can introduce Captain Britain in this,
Sure.
and then their version of Merlin. This is all, it would be really cool.
Because the sword embodies some portion of the previous users, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it kind of has their personalities within it that can infect the current user.
Yeah,
Right?
something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing I know is it just slowly,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes him berserker mode eventually. So.
Yeah, I'd be curious who he would end up going up against, right? Who are the Black Knight's adversaries?
Yeah, that's the other question, because you're but I mean, you can have that be some Agatha. some
Episode 1. Within the first 2 minutes,
kills Agatha.
Agatha beheaded.
But I mean,
World saved. People rejoice.
you could have some mystical anomaly happening across the. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that would look, but
Sure.
I think it'd be a lot of fun just to explore that and having him learn the history of it and have to deal with that history and try to be his own better version.
Right.
So.
Right. A lot of self-conflict.
Yeah.
Love it. That's great. My number 3, Dr. Stephen Strange. Dr. Strange, somehow Riley has had only 2 movies in the span of this Marvel realm. I think he's a delightful character. Love our boy Benny. Mr. Cumberbatch portraying him. It's fantastic. Why not give him, let's stop, pigeonholing him into a show. Why not give the guy an opportunity just to riff across a miniseries? I would be delighted by that. Think of all the different places he could visit, the characters he could interact with, the magic we could see. I mean, the guy has limitless potential in terms of just the power, the imagination. So I would love to get a chance to have a lot more just volume of screen time with Stephen Strange. I think it would be fantastic. You could oscillate between relatively low stakes in New York City to high stakes. Now he's traversing the multiverse as we've seen in the movies. I think there's a lot of room to work with. And you get more of Stephen Strange. How can you not be delighted by that? Because you know what else that means? That means you get more Wong. And who doesn't want more Wong in their life? If you don't, you're Wong. Haha. It's terrible. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. I want Wong. There you go. There's my number 3.
He is the linchpin currently of the
He
MCU Phase 4.
is. He is. He's all that's holding this together. My number 2. I told you I was on a Magneto kick. Give me Magneto in a TV show. Okay? So here's part of what I think is so great about TV shows. Breaking Bad, greatest TV show I've ever seen. It's very much an anti-hero show. Like the protagonist, Walter White, starts out as a likable, lovable dude, and over the course of 5.5-ish seasons transforms into the bad guy, right? And it's compelling television. Why not show us Magneto working behind the scenes to gather his forces, trying to be buds and yet conflicting with Charles Xavier, working the underground, if you will, to take over various government entities for his mutant takeover of the world. And he's such a conflicted character, particularly as he was portrayed by Michael Fassbender. So give me all that all day long. I would love to see a Magneto-driven TV show. That's where I'm at. Number 2, Magneto.
Number 2, we're staying in the mutant realm.
Ooh, get it!
Okay.
Get it!
But it kind of plays into this.
Yes.
So it's more. I loved X-Men First Class. Phenomenal.
Totally agree.
Great
Totally
movie.
Great movie.
Magneto, for instance, phenomenal in that movie. He's
Best part of the movie.
Michael Fassbender as Magneto
Best part of
is
the
the
movie.
best part of every single X-Men movie in that sense.
Yep.
But anyways,
Yep. Agreed.
so, but then also mixing it with a little bit of X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, instead of the next X-Men movie coming out,
Mhm.
and they introduce all these characters, I think it'd be cool to have a series beforehand, and each episode focuses on Professor X recruiting a different mutant in each
I
episode.
like that.
And
Yeah.
so they can either do 5 or 6 episodes,
Yep.
or
Yep.
10 episodes,
Yep.
and then they can turn that into seasons.
Love it.
And then that way you're just
Love it.
slowly adding X-Men,
Right.
and then each X-Men goes into their own highlight. And then, think about it this way too, that's not a must-watch.
Right.
It's oh, I really like that character. Do you have something else with that character in it? Oh, you have this show. Let's
Right.
go see this. Because I don't want to see 19 different origins for characters.
Correct.
And I think it'd be a lot cooler because it would show Professor X building the team.
Yes.
And just going from there.
Yeah.
So that is my number 2.
I love that. And there's so much. There is. We've talked about this. Everybody knows this. This is obvious. There's so much potential with the X-Men.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that that remains completely untapped by Marvel stuns me, blows me away. Like, get in on that action. Do it well. We're hungry for it. Anyway.
It would
okay.
also be hilarious if they're like, okay, let's do 2 evil mutants, and then watch Xavier just reject them entirely.
That would be awesome.
So,
No, you can't come to the school. We'd really like to. Really, really firmly hard pass. That's great. Okay, what's your number 1? What are you pitching? What are you
So,
going to LA for?
my number 1 pick, okay?
Mhm.
Now, this might surprise you, because number 2 probably should have been number 1.
I'm excited.
Number 2 is,
No.
like, phenomenal.
This is great.
Okay?
I'm looking forward to being
It
surprised.
kind of plays off of a movie we already watched recently.
Oh boy.
And I'm thinking,
Oh boy.
we get Booster Gold and Ted
Ah.
Cord Blue Beetle.
Sure.
And I'd rather have it be a TV show because I want more time with the 2.
Yes.
Build and flesh out their
Time
characters.
is what you get with these shows.
Right.
So what an asset that is.
Right. Flesh them out more
Yep.
for when you bring them into a movie. I think
Mhm.
that's way better. I think their dynamic is the most fun thing you can do with it.
Right.
Because it's like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing, but it's more like a arrogant, humble cop.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think it would be just really hilarious to see, Ted Cord getting along with everybody, and Booster Gold watching from the side, being like, "Why does no one talk to me or like me?" And then having them have to deal with that, I think would be hilarious.
Uh-huh.
So I would love that dynamic, seeing
Indeed.
them work together with wherever they're at, stuck
That's
in
right.
time, or
Mhm.
who knows where they're at. But
Mhm.
yeah.
No, it's great. Good character dynamic. And what I like so much about this dialogue and this discussion is, and I'll get into my number 1, but you need, one of the shortfalls of so many of these shows has been the fact that you're asking relatively minor characters to just boost up a show for so many episodes. Like you can have a more obscure character be the headliner as far as the title of the show, but you have to incorporate other characters, and frankly, a good chunk of other characters to make this show, make these shows worthwhile. There's just not a lot of characters that can ride solo and battle various villains for hour upon hour. There's a lot of these characters that need 1, 2, or 5 or 6 other characters to make them matter and to make them more interesting. So it's great. Yeah. My number 1 is a show that I would love to see that is centered around Dick Grayson.
I'm glad you finished that.
Yep. Pause for effect. Dick Grayson. Phenomenal character. The history of that character is outrageous. The original Robin chose to walk away from his partnership with Batman, but maintained somehow a healthy, working relationship and friendship, but has established himself as his own hero, has been a part of the Justice League, the Teen Titans, obviously buds with Batman, has gone undercover to try, and after he was presumed dead, so I think there's a lot that could be done there. But I think Dick Grayson has the kind of just personal dynamic that you would want to see. I'd love to just hang out with this guy. That's the kind of character that I would love to watch a TV show about. His fighting skills are phenomenal, but his cleverness, his boldness, it's outstanding. He can fit into just about any scenario, any story that you put him in. I would love to see a show centered around my boy, Dick Grayson. That's my number 1. There's my pick. Yeah. Will we see any of these shows? Only if the good people are finally getting off the picket line, getting what they need, and listening to this here podcast. Yeah. That's a wish.
I like the Nightwing choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do that with all of Batman's Robins.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, he's the best.
He is.
He's easily the best.
And he's where Batman tries to be a dad to the Bat family. In a lot of ways, Dick Grayson is the dad. He just is. He takes care of the rest of the Bat family so well.
See, I would make the argument that Alfred is the dad.
Ooh, okay. I was going to go with grandfather with Alfred. But
Yeah,
he's in there. He's in there.
That's fair too.
Yeah. He's a part of it.
So what would that put at Batman? Just the grumpy uncle?
It's a great question. Yeah, here's what it truly would be, right? Batman is the dad. Bruce Wayne is the dad.
Oh, for sure.
Alfred's the mom. If we're being real, Alfred is the mom. He provides the soothing. He's like, it's all right. Here, let me bandage you up. We'll get you healed. Dick is just the oldest brother that's like, listen, Dad doesn't mean it. He's just had a bad day. Got gassed by the Joker. It's tough. You're fine, Tim. Don't worry about it. Damien, you're the classic little, youngest brother. Quit being a turd. Knock it off. Do better. Grow up.
Yeah. So is the youngest.
Yeah, always the youngest.
And then, well, it's true, because then Tim and Jason both have middle child syndrome.
Yep.
Real bad.
Hard.
Real
Hard.
bad.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's another good one. I would love a Red Hood
Mm-hmm.
show. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I really think, as much as anything, the anti-hero show is the direction that these TV shows should go. Those characters tend to be more compelling than just the straight line, hey, this is the good guy, right? So that's...
I mean, even going the Daredevil Netflix route,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what they should do.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally agree.
So,
Totally agree.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we got Riles. Another fantabulous top 5.
I think so. I think we nailed it.
Wow.